Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Welcome to what's going to be the worst live stream in network history because tonight's action is trash. If you're wondering why the prop viewer put the picture next to me, I don't even know. It's just me. I wasn't gonna bring people on for one NBA game, especially NBA game I don't even like. So let's run a poll. Let's see what people think. It's Dallas on the road to Utah. I'm not betting this. I mean, dating back multiple years, the Jazz are a bet on team at home. They play better in the altitude. You can find sneaky value betting the Jazz at home, but that hasn't been the case this year. They're 0-5 at home, and I've taken 2. Have I taken 3 losses back in the Jazz at home? Might even be 3 losses already. Of those 5 losses, I might even have bet 3 of them. So not only do the Jazz not look the same at home, but I've personally been taking losses trying to bet them. So I have no interest here. I mean, Dallas has been taking losses. They played a strong schedule. I mean, in their last 5, they played Golden State, Denver, Phoenix, Indiana. So on the road in Utah, you would expect Dallas to get their shit together here and win comfortably. That's a heartbreaker, the way the Mavs lost the last one. I understand they ran a screen. They got Curry on Lively, the matchup they wanted. And I understand Lively's not going to be able to cover Curry on the perimeter. I get it. He's not going to be able to guard Curry on the perimeter. But you would think, just let him dribble past you. Make him drive to the basket to take a contested layup. I mean, you'd rather give Curry a contested layup to go up by 3 than an open look from 3. I mean, whatever. Anyway, so what does the poll think for this one?
All over the Mavs.
All over the
65%.
Yeah. I'm good. If I had to bet the game, I would go over 230.5. Dallas, Utah weak defensively on the perimeter. Dallas loves to shoot those outside shots. Jazz can also score themselves, so I would go over. Honestly, you know what? If I was to bet this game, actually, you know what? Let's look up the odds of this. 'Cause what about this? As a flyer, as a long shot flyer, let's try something here. Let me just open up a sports book and build it out to see approximately what the odds would be. So what if we went... Where's the first half? First half. I always bet from my phone. I never do it from the computer, so I don't even know what this looks like. All right, first half. Dallas first half money line. Utah full game money line. Oh, you have to do it under the same game parlay menu. 1 second. Because, I mean, one thing Utah has done in their home games is play a shitload better in the second half than they did in the first half. So maybe if you can get some crazy odds, let's see what the odds would be.
Type of clown-ass bet.
I have nothing. Plus 811.
All right.
So type it up. Just shut up and type it up, dude.
Okay.
Jazz money line, Mavs first half money line, plus 811. Did you type it up?
It's typed.
All right, there it is. I'm not betting the game. All right, I did bet both football games tonight, though.
A double result.
It's called the double result, yes.
Yep.
Thank you. For the viewers out keeping score at home, it's called the double result. Let's talk about the NFL game.
Alrighty.
All right.
Hello, all.
Hello, all. Yeah, Kessler's out. Someone said in the comments. That sucks. I mean, he's a rebounding machine. And Washington, Philadelphia. Is this line at 4 now?
Yes, consensus.
Damn it. So my hope of possibly getting a 3 before kickoff, they're long gone. Could have got a 3 earlier in the week.
I know.
If I wasn't a schmuck. But as I'm sure you guys know, if you watched the video from last night, I am on the Eagles team total over 26.5. I got it at minus 108. It's not a big bet. Do I absolutely love it? Not really. It's an NFL primetime game, so obviously you want to have some, or I should speak in the first person. I want to have some action on it. You don't want to be the only person that doesn't have a bet down on it. At 3, I would have bet Philly. I do think there's a lot of evidence pointing towards the Eagles putting up points in this game. Dallas, wow. Washington, on paper, there's nothing that can stop this Eagles rushing attack. I mean, especially with Mailata back at left tackle, Eagles offense at full strength. They're going to run the ball, and I don't think there's a damn thing Washington can do to stop it. And even if Washington does pull a trick, a rabbit out of their hat, and has some way to slow down Saquon Barkley and even Jalen Hurts in the run game, I mean, how are they going to cover these Eagles receivers? Washington runs a lot of man coverage. Lattimore still not active, so we're still not going to see Lattimore. And the Eagles has just been connecting on these big plays through the air. If they don't drop back to pass 30, 35 times a game, but when they, in the last 5 games or so, when they have dropped back to pass, Hurts has been extremely efficient. So even if Washington finds a way to sell out to slow down the Eagles' run game, it should just open the door for some big plays through the air. So, the only way I see this bet losing, this team total over 26.5, is if the Eagles shoot themselves in the foot, meaning Jalen Hurts throws a pick or fumbles, a strip sack, which is very possible. Sirianni loves shooting himself in the foot. Remember the Saints game when I had the Eagles +3 as my top bet? The score was like 12-9. The Eagles had 400 yards to the Saints 150. So Sirianni could go for it on 4th and 1 on the 11 going in and continue to turn the ball over. That's a way this could lose. But as far as on paper, I don't think Washington can make stops against Philadelphia's defense, and that's the angle I'm most comfortable with. On the other side, as far as the Eagles' defense against the Commanders' offense, I feel like there's a little more wiggle room on this side. Eagles have been playing elite defense specifically against the pass. On paper, I think this looks like a really tough matchup for Jaden Daniels. The Eagles sit back in coverage a lot of cover 4, a lot of cover 6. Jaden Daniels not the most efficient thrower of the football when it comes to short passes, which is what the Eagles do defensively. They give you the throws underneath and take away the big plays. That is not a great matchup for Jaden Daniels because, like I said, his efficiency numbers are really good throwing the ball downfield, intermediate passes, deep passes. When it comes to short passes, Jaden Daniels not the best thrower of the ball. And as far as running the ball, I mean, I guess this is where you can find some value on Washington. Eagles do have great numbers against the run, but against who? They haven't seen a decent rushing attack in about a month and a half. So I guess you could find some angles for Washington to score points. But in my opinion, the angle I'm most comfortable with is the Eagles scoring. So I went Eagles team total over.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed with myself. I should have locked in that Eagles -3 earlier in the week. I don't know what I was doing.
You did say you liked the 3, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was being a bit lackadaisical. Should have locked in that 3, but I did find something I still like here. He may not be a dragon, but he is a guy I like. It's Bobby Wagner. I don't know why Andy put that cursed word ladder. It ain't a ladder. It's a step stool. We're climbing the step stool here with Mr. Bobby Wagner. I like his tackles and assist prop today. I put a half unit on each of these because it has a pretty similar hit rate. I feel like if you're going to bet the over 8.5 at the plus money, you might as well bet the 10 plus here. So Bobby's under in 4 straight here. He's averaging just 6.75 tackles and assists, but I feel like this is a fantastic bounce back spot for him against an Eagles offense that's 7th in tackles and assists allowed to linebacker position. 3 of his 4 unders just came at home, while one of those came at New York in the Meadowlands. Wagner's been a guy who's been far less profitable at home for some time now. If you look, going back to, I believe, 2021, he's under his last 14 to 23 home games, averaging just 8.4 tackles and assists. That's a 61% hit rate to the under. On the road, however, he's over his last 20 or 30 games, averaging 10 tackles and assists. That's a 1.6 increase in terms of average. On top of that, that's a 67% hit rate to the over. The road game against the Giants, that's an offense that's 17th in tackles and assists allowed. On top of that, over their last 3 games, they've fallen all the way down to tied for 25th. So during that span when they faced them, offense has been struggling. When he saw the same Eagles offense at home last season, despite being at home where he is worse, Wagner racked up 11 tackles in that game. Speaking like Elmer Fudd out here. But the point is, I really like Bobby Wagner in this game. If you look at Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, they're both guys with home-away splits. Louvu's really the guy who cleans up at home, going back to last year with the Panthers. Wagner's the guy who cleans up on the road. And just looking and reading the lines here, I feel like they're telling us that Louvu has the down game and that Wagner cleans up. So really like Wagner in this one.
It's not a ladder.
It's a step stool, folks. We're not climbing. We're taking steps.
Okay, I need you to define the difference between a ladder and a step stool.
With a ladder, you have to put your hand on something to then
No,
accelerate.
I know the difference between the apparatuses, the household apparatuses. I'm saying, what's the difference in your freaking bed?
Okay, well, the ladder, you climb up, I think it's about like 4 different legs.
Multiple rungs.
Yeah, but a step stool is just 1, 2.
So just... So a step stool is a variation of a ladder bed, but it's only one step.
Yeah, it's just a 1, 2 step.
And you're proud of inventing this.
No. It's a modification. You have to adapt, survive. When you're not killing the ladders, you have to just step down.
All right, so this is
a
step stool.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner, 9 tackle assists and 10 tackle assists.
Yeah, so
your last one hit that we made fun of you for, it did hit.
Exactly. And on top of that, if you look back, the only reason I said take the 10 plus as well, it's at plus 165. If you look in his last 30 games where he's hit the 9 plus, I believe in 28 of those cases he hit the 10 plus as well. So for just 2 misses, why not take that extra risk for 65 extra cents? So I'm taking the 10 plus as well.
Tinker's in the comments explaining the difference between a ladder and a step
Tinker.
stool.
Thank you, Tinker. Thank you.
Like, hey guys, well, ladder's 3 steps or more.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the college football. Midnight Toker says a step stool is an unconfident ladder.
Watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth, he said. Midnight Toker likes Brian Robinson over, by the way. He commented that on the video last night.
Oh, we'll get to that at the end when we do the underdog.
Oh, okay, cool. So looks like he might have a Brian Robinson leg of the underdog at the end. Mm-hmm. Let's bring Scoop and Andy on. We'll talk about the college football game. I know me and Scoop have the same bet because I placed it. I was leaning this way, and then Scoop in the Discord said he was on this. So I said, screw it, let's do it. We're both on Tulsa plus 14.5. I know there was a comment on this video. Was like the comment said something along the lines of, Sauce, the Sharps have this one right. Lay it with ECU. It's something to take note of with that. The line opened up at 10.5. And yeah, the line movement would be indicative of quote unquote sharp action coming in on ECU. But now that it's above 14, it's an entirely different market. So it just because the quote unquote sharps liked it at 10.5 doesn't mean they still like it at 14.5. And I had said from the beginning, when I first got the graphics together to make the video, I said I'm leaning towards Tulsa. If it crosses over, if it gets to 13.5, I think is what I said, I'll bet it. Not only did it get to 13.5, it crossed over 14, which is a relatively, it's a key number. So yeah, I'm in. Tulsa plus 14.5. If you're looking for football reasons why, I do think it's somewhat logical. So everyone's fallen in love with the new look ECU offense, right? It's explosive. Ever since Caton Hauser has took over at quarterback, they're putting up numbers. But something to take note of with that. So Hauser has made 3 starts. Only 1 has been on the road. The road game was against Army. In that game, yes, he put up some numbers. They didn't score a single point until the 3rd quarter. It was 31-0 Army. So all of his numbers in the Army game were in garbage time. If you remember, they came back and backdoor covered, like against the plus 17. So the only road game, they were getting absolutely smoked. Since then, he's made 2 home starts against really bad teams. Now, Tulsa is a really, really bad team. But if there's one aspect of this Tulsa team that's actually not drop dead terrible, it's the run defense. They've actually been playing decent defense against the run. So we're talking about Hauser going on the road to make his 2nd road start. The first road start, they got absolutely blown out against a Tulsa defense that may be able to limit the East Carolina rushing attack. So Hauser on the road, young, inexperienced quarterback, making a road start, possibly with limited run support. Remember, the one criticism of Hauser so far has been his turnover-worthy plays. He puts the ball in harm's way. I could see him throwing a couple picks in this game. And when you're on the road laying a big number like 14.5, you can't be throwing interceptions. A single interception could screw that cover up. So I like Hauser to throw a pick in this game and Tulsa to somewhat keep it close. And when it comes to the Tulsa offense, it's it's an absolute mess. Like there's not many positives I can say about the Tulsa offense. I will say the ECU defense, though, not nearly the same unit on the road, and that dates back multiple years. The ECU defense much more reliant at home. On the road, they're allowing over 37 points per game. So this ECU defense has not looked good at all on the road, and we're talking about laying 14.5. And when it comes to the Tulsa offense, I think they look slightly better with Cooper Legas, the kid from Utah State last year. He's playing quarterback. I think they look slightly better with him. So yeah, I bet this. I think Tulsa covers this number at over 14. I'm in. Scoop, you're with me?
Yeah. So East Carolina bounced back after the 3 of 4 losses to Liberty, Charlotte, Army. I mean, but they beat Temple and FAU. So as much as they came back to win those 2 games, who's not beating those 2 teams? Temple's Temple, and FAU's just having a terrible season. Tulsa did lose to Temple. And destroyed by UAB, but this is more of a not backing East Carolina than backing Tulsa. They made that coaching change a few weeks ago, but I don't know. I know Tulsa hasn't been good at all, but Cooper Legas, like you said, a lot better. He should carry the team here. Caden Hauser isn't a god. All the money is on East Carolina because of Tulsa's just really inability to play any facet of football correctly. But I don't know. I just like Tulsa's offense more than everything else here. East Carolina does give up 27 points a game, close to 400 yards, 235 passing yards a game. I think they'll find some room here at home. They had 2 weeks to prepare for this game for Tulsa. And listen, since Cooper Legas came in for Kirk Francis, their offense has been so much better than Francis. Francis was turnover prone, led to a lot of points from the other side. Not saying Tulsa's defense is good. It's not at all. It's terrible. But I'm not trusting East Carolina on the road here. They're laying more than 2 touchdowns on the road. They just lost 3 straight on the road. Caden Hauser is due for a bad game. I'm not a bad game, but I mean, I'm definitely going to take the 2 touchdowns at home. It's a disrespectful line. They haven't scored more than 28 on the road all season. So, yeah, I like Tulsa here. Tulsa won the last 2 in this game against East Carolina. So, I just think it's a little too high. So,
and people in the comments asking about the Tyson Paul fight. That's not my thing. I used to be really into boxing.
Paul by decision. So.
Paul by decision. So I used to be really into boxing, but I like boxing with a purpose. I'm not really into the exhibition thing, and that goes across the board. Like I like the Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning golf match. Like I don't give a shit. Like if there's not a purpose, if it's just an exhibition, I really don't care. I don't know why anyone cares. So it's just not my thing. I have no interest in
It's not exhibition though. It's sanctioned now.
Yeah, but like, okay, is Tyson going to make a shot at the title at 58?
Oh, go for the world championship after this, the WBC.
Andy, what do you think about this game?
I'd be on East Carolina, but I do hate that the number got this high. Obviously, it changes it a lot, but I still think that they're going to run them out of the building. I understand they haven't scored much on the road, but Hauser's only started 1 road game, and that road game was at Army. That Army team's obviously got a shot for the playoffs, so that's a really tough road game. That's the game they scored 28. So that's their worst road performance. It was with Hauser and it was against a really good team. So I understand that it dates back a couple of years now where East Carolina is just not the same team at home, but they have a different coach and a different quarterback now. So they might have turned the tide there. And now they're going up against Tulsa, who obviously Tulsa's really, really bad defensively. Everyone's throwing on Tulsa, and that's what you expect. But the big thing with Hauser has been his turnovers, right? And it was the same issue they had with Garcia. Garcia led the country in interceptions. That's why they had to bench him. Hauser came in and he was throwing a bunch, but in the last 2 games, he's thrown 10 touchdowns, 2 picks. Both of those interceptions were 2 weeks ago against Temple. Last week, he threw 5 touchdowns against Florida Atlantic. Didn't throw an interception. He looked good in that game, took care of the ball. And if he can do that against Tulsa, I have no reason to believe that this game's within 3 touchdowns. There's a different energy at ECU now. I know we always laugh at that a lot, but sometimes when you fire a coach, it's just a different energy. This team's going to a bowl, right? No, if they win, they go to a bowl. So, there's a lot of positives happening for East Carolina now. Tulsa's kind of that team that just wants the season to end at this point, just kind of dragging. So, I understand the number got very high and it got the 2 touchdowns. What this was like 10.5, 11.5 at one point. It's now much higher. Obviously, you're basically asking for 2 touchdowns and a field goal at this point. So, I get it got high, but I just think this is just a significant disadvantage for Tulsa.
All right. 1 second. Today's no, never mind. I thought for a second it was Tulsa's homecoming, but it's not. All right. So, that's it.
Yeah, I got the underdog.
Hit us with the underdog pick'em here.
Yeah, so in this one, we got a two-piece. They unfortunately didn't have a Bobby Wagner line listed for us. They only had the assists, and I don't really like to, just do either the tackles or the assists. I like to combine them. So I still like these two. Saquon Barkley over 18.5 longest rush before Najee Harris, which I bet, of course, last week. Every running back that have faced the Washington Commanders had gone over their longest rush line. So I like regression to hit and for Saquon Barkley to do him dirty. And then also Brian Robinson Jr., higher than 49.5 rush yards. Somebody in the comments had mentioned him earlier. I think if the Washington Commanders are going to remotely keep this game competitive, that is the way to do so here. Brian Robinson Jr. does return this week after missing last week. And if there is a weak point to this Eagles defense, it would be on the ground. If you look at the Eagles rush defense, they faced a bunch of weak competition lately. When they did face strong competition earlier in the season, they were getting absolutely ran all over. This will be the first rush offense in the top 10 of DVOA. I believe they've seen in 5 weeks now. So, yeah, would be buying low on, I guess, Brian Robinson Jr. and selling high on that Eagles rush defense here. Yep. And then the Underdog promo of the day would be Jalen Hurts, higher than a half total yards. So if you're not with Underdog and would like to join, replace one of those legs, you could do so. If you're not an Underdog member would like to join, you can in one of those yellow states. And that's with the promo code BET, B-E-T. Guess how many letters? 3-E-E.
All right, let's do a community top bet with the 3 games. How about that?
Let's do it.
I mean, there's not much action today, but they liked the Mavs minus 8.5. They liked the Eagles minus 4, and they liked Tulsa plus 14.5. They like Tulsa.
Mavs minus 8.5. Okay. So, what do you say? Mavs minus 8.5, Tulsa minus 14.5.
See, this is why you see the comments. This is why those exhibition fights are so successful. People care a lot. I mean, it's flooded in the comments.
Crazy.
So, I mean, I don't mean that in a hater way. It's not my thing, but the people like it.
Good dirty joke.
What are you doing?
Card might be all right though.
Sheeran is on a losing streak.
I won my last 8 college football bets, so I'm definitely due for a loss.
I had my best college football week in a while last week, so I'm not on a losing streak. But the broke Ed Sheeran part did make me laugh. That is
Broke Ed Sheeran.
never gets old. Honestly.
Well, most people are broke in comparison to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Not familiar with his financial situation. I would imagine he does pretty well, though.
I'm pretty sure.
Cast your votes.
What time is that fight tomorrow? Does anybody in here?
It starts
Bro.
at 8 with the undercard, but it's gonna be probably midnight.
There's 4 college football games, including that UCLA Washington game, which should be sick. There's a loaded NBA slate. There's 0 chance I watch a second of that.
There's a bunch of good college basketball too.
Yeah, but that's right. There is some good college basketball on tomorrow.
Oh, Matt.
Who's not gonna be watching that?
So what is the top bet? Is it Dallas?
Yeah.
Yo, Kyle, you need to learn college basketball. It's the best of all sports. I do college basketball, but not till January, when the conference play starts. That's when I really get into it. There's not enough data now anyway, and right now with college football on and the NBA, I kind of do 50% right now gathering data. College basketball in January, I'm on the college basketball show, and I'm betting, giving out picks in January.
You scrubbing it up.
Community top bet is Dallas Mavericks minus 8.5. So, everyone, have yourselves a great night. Remember to bet responsibly. See you all tomorrow. We'll be back at midnight for college basketball show. For those of you that want to be join us for the midnight stream, there's a lot of good college basketball games tomorrow. So, everyone, bet responsibly.